Welcome, listeners, to Thru the Sightglass, a podcast that dives deep into the fascinating world of craft beer and celebrates the incredible individuals who shape its vibrant landscape. Join us on a journey where we explore the nuances of this amazing industry and the remarkable people who contribute to its richness and diversity. And today, we have the lovely pleasure of sitting down with the people at Lucky Envelope Brewing. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank y'all. We're excited to be here in Seattle.
Excited to have you here. Thank you for taking the time to chat with us.
Yeah,
thanks for reaching out. Happy to be here.
Yeah, I know that y'all just recently did a podcast down in Tacoma too, so we love that. Great.
And also celebrated 10 years.
Yeah, 10
which
years.
Which is a huge landmark.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
I appreciate you letting me join for this one because I wasn't invited to that one. So.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Well, we love to have anybody who wants to talk with us, so we love it so much.
Yeah, the other podcast didn't want anybody steering the train back on the rails, so it just kind of just fell off on its own. And that was the whole idea.
It started off the ground.
Yeah.
We already took some of the wheels. And they were off track, and then we just let it
there we go.
careen out of control.
Good to know. Good to know.
Lovely. Shout out, Great Grade.
Yeah, we're gonna meet with them next week, so we're excited about that. Can y'all give yourselves a little bit of intro? Give us your name for our listeners, since we don't do a video thing, and then kind of your role here at the brewery.
Yeah, my name is Raymond Kwan, co-founder and director of operations. Majority of my responsibility set is overseeing our tasting room, working with our distributor, Orcus Distributing, and general kind of behind the scenes finance, Excel, spreadsheet, QuickBooks work.
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
And I'm Barry Chan, head brewer of this place.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Love it so much. Where did y'all grow up?
I grew up in New Jersey, northern New Jersey.
East Coast, nice.
East Coaster, yep.
We just came from like 7 months in Portland, Maine.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful area.
Yeah, the East Coast it's a very similar and different vibe, and we really enjoyed spending a lot of time there. Like we thought we were going to live there as opposed back to here, but we had some other circumstances that brought us back to here.
Yeah. So New Jersey.
New Jersey. I've lived in Seattle for 15 years now.
Very nice.
Nice.
Love that so much.
Barry speaking. I can keep doing that.
Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah.
I grew up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, so about an hour outside of Philadelphia.
Very nice.
And spent 18 years there through high school, and then went to school in Philadelphia.
Nice.
And from there, made my journey out west.
Did you go to Penn State, or where'd you go?
I went to Penn.
Oh, okay, gotcha. UPenn?
Yep.
Nice.
Very cool. Yeah. So what was it like living on the East Coast growing up for both of y'all?
For me, it was a pretty stereotypical, like, Northeast upbringing and culture. A lot of my high school classmates and even college classmates were the kind of pursuing the lawyer, doctor, Wall Street banker type careers, and there's nothing wrong with that,
right.
and there's obviously a lot of opportunities there. But I knew by my sophomore year of college that I wanted to move out to the West Coast and kind of escape a lot of that hustle of the Northeast culture. I still have a lot of very close friends back in the Northeast, and my parents still live in New Jersey.
Gotcha.
But for me, getting out to like Los Angeles first before making the trek here to Seattle was a pretty big move for me. But everybody on my mother's side of the family lived in Los Angeles, so I was heading out to a city with a support system.
There you go.
Nice.
So it made the transition a lot easier, but very specifically, I did move out to LA to work in Hollywood.
Okay.
And so, that was a big goal of mine. And at the time, I really wanted to get into the music industry when I finished undergrad. And the only cities at the time, really Manhattan, Nashville, maybe Atlanta at that point was, up and coming, and then it was Los Angeles.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And interestingly enough, I never actually made it into the music industry, but I did go work on the other side of things in TV and theatrical production.
Okay.
Oh,
So
nice.
ended up, at NBC Universal and at Warner Brothers before I moved here to Seattle.
Very
so
cool.
I did get to live the Hollywood life for a bit. Really enjoyed my time, especially at Warner Brothers. That was a really fantastic experience. But yeah, I was, after a decade of 9 years of working there, decided to pack up my things and just move to Seattle with really with no job and no plan, and I was like, I'm gonna go do something different.
Why Seattle?
I had turned down UW for both undergrad and grad school, and I was debating between moving to the Bay Area or coming to Seattle, and I figured, I've turned them down twice. There's a reason I keep applying to school up there, so maybe I should just give it a shot. And so, packed up my car and just came up here.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, you're already on the East Coast, so that's great.
What a wild transition.
Yeah.
East Coast straight into essentially like Hollywood
LA.
life, pursuing and careering. Yeah, that's...
Which is a different type of hustle.
Oh, yeah. The speed of it, yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Were you always interested in, like, how did you get into wanting to do music and be in that industry?
So one of my summer internships during college was with BMG Music.
Okay.
So it was in the office in Times Square, right above the old Tower Records there.
Yeah.
And I was working in the classical and soundtracks division, so probably like the smallest division in the entire building. But I was a group of 50 interns that summer, and I was the only one doing non-marketing.
Okay.
And my bosses actually gave me real work that tied into what I was studying in school, which was finance and economics. And I just kind of fell in love with the idea of like being in the music culture, like riding the elevator with famous musicians, hearing the stories from all the marketing interns, going to music video shoots that were a much bigger deal back then. Total Request Live was recording every afternoon when I'd walk out of the office.
Yeah.
This is not trying to date you, but what timeline was this, the year?
1999.
Gotcha.
yeah.
And then, so
That's
that
amazing.
already MTV, a lot of the big, like, VH1, those were already, like, broadcasting all the time.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would you say that's the peak? I was born in 92, but I feel like
I would say that was a pretty solid peak
Yeah.
for the music
Yeah,
industry and
sure.
for music videos and that type of kind of following. The fact that people were just lining up Times Square to see Carson Daly on Total Request Live was just absolutely bonkers
That's
to me.
so wild.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
And, it's like still, what was it, the Planet Hollywood had closed, that restaurant, but it ended up being the WWE Cafe.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And it's just like
Wild.
we went to lunch there when it first opened, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was signing his book, and my boss and I had no idea who this guy was. He's all alone. The restaurant's empty, and we're like walking by. As we're walking out, he's like, "Hey, would you like a copy of my book?" And we're like, "Sure, I guess."
Hopefully you still have that.
No, I don't.
No.
Yeah.
We gave it to our coworkers who were into wrestling. Like we had no idea. I don't think anybody knew who he was at the time.
Yeah, you had no clue this guy was going to be the biggest Jumanji star ever in the future.
Yeah. So I love telling that story because it's just, being in Hollywood and being in that industry, it's like you always run into, kind of the celebrities, whether they're up and coming or they're established, and it's just being in that culture is, again, it's a whole different culture.
It's a different culture, but still.
Yeah.
That's so wild. I love that so much.
Yeah.
So you moved to LA, you're working in Hollywood, probably more stories that you could probably tell us about that for sure. You get up here to Washington. We're going to pause, move over to Barry. Barry, how was it growing up on the East Coast?
Well, growing up in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, people know it for the Amish folks. So there's a lot of tourism around that group of people, and they were 20 minutes away from where I live. So very small-ish town, pretty rural, not particularly diverse by any means.
Yeah.
And at the end of whatever the music video Amish Paradise by Weird Al Yankovic,
Yes.
there is a little camera pan to a sign that just says "Welcome to Lancaster County."
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
So that's and then I guess it's also famous because of, I think, part of The Fugitive was filmed there because he took
Okay.
refuge.
Oh, is that Harrison Ford?
Harrison
Yeah.
Ford amongst the Amish folks.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, so that's kind of what we were known for, and kind of growing up in that area was about as exciting as you would expect.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Were you excited to kind of leave that or escape that?
Oh my God, yeah.
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 What were you dreaming of? Like, where were you wanting to go? What did you want to do?
Get into a city.
Yeah.
Somewhere. So
Somewhere.
that's
Like exposure.
Yeah. Just and the one that was comfortable for me was Philadelphia. So I was fortunate. I was I guess a good enough student, but then I was also a swimmer at the same time. So that was able to I was able to hedge both of those things and then get into school in Philadelphia.
Oh, nice.
What'd you go to school for?
I originally wanted to be a chemist, but then I changed over to mechanical engineering for undergraduate.
Very cool. I have a few mechanical engineers in my life. My
Oh,
brother and
her
my
whole family.
dad.
But also it's there's a
that.
nice
They have the
divide.
knack. You have the knack. Yeah.
It's like the nice divide between like artists. It's either like ceramic artists or fine artists that get into brewing, or it's mechanical engineers or people that are interested in sciences that get into the brewing process. But it's always like a nice duality.
Yeah.
Like it's very one side or the other.
Yeah. So you're doing mechanical engineer degree.
Mm-hmm.
What were the next steps for you? Like what did that look like?
So after graduating in 2005, at that point my girlfriend, she's now spouse, she got into vet school in California.
Okay.
So she was a California resident, so she was, it makes sense that she wouldn't stick around there where she wasn't a resident, pay a lot of money to go to vet school in Pennsylvania, the out-of-state rates and all that. So
insanely expensive.
Yeah, I ended up following her to Davis, California.
Okay.
Oh, rad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have family in Davis.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up Mormon, so I have family everywhere.
And, and our last name is Davis.
Yeah, it is Davis. Also, congrats on 20 plus years. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. I guess it's you're correct. This is the longest time I've lived not in Lancaster than I somewhere else.
Yeah,
So.
somewhere else. So you're all in California.
Followed her to Davis.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And then just worked a small manufacturing job just to get residency. And then
Gotcha.
During that time, I applied to grad school.
Okay.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
I was looking to get into I wanted to still stay in engineering, but mechanical was not my where I really was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
So I applied to a couple schools for structural earthquake engineering.
Okay. Wow.
And ended up going to UCLA for 2 years to get my grad degree there.
Oh,
Yeah.
rad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
that's wild.
earthquakes are very prevalent
Yeah.
in California.
Exactly. So
There's a large market for
Yeah, I love that.
having engineers that can deal with shakes and quakes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're both in California, not knowing maybe each other at the time, I'm assuming, but you're in California maybe at the same time.
we actually were when I moved to LA
Y'all
for
met?
grad school. We met up for the first time there because we had mutual friends.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
What a wild... That's crazy.
So y'all just had mutual friends, met. Were y'all at a brewery or a bar? Were y'all drinking beer? I want to dive into y'all's
A
history
backyard
with beer.
party with a party pump.
Yeah, so my best friend from high school's younger brother was in his college class.
Okay, gotcha.
So that was the connection. And when Barry was moving down to Los Angeles, our friend Ed just asked, hey, can you meet up with Barry? He doesn't know anybody down there, blah, blah, blah. He's starting up school. So
Yeah.
we met. And funny enough, I think our first actual outing, we did end up at Carl Strauss Brewery on the Universal City Walk.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
As part of our day-long epic, just let's go have some fun on the City Walk and do a lot of fun things. So between that and Jillian's Billiards and one of our other friends met up with us driving out from Orange County.
Yeah.
So there was a handful of, I think, did your wife join us on that trip too?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there's the four of us eventually all met up on the City Walk, and we just kind of bummed around up there for the entire day. So
That's so cool.
That's amazing. I feel like this is the Glass Onion. You know that scene where they're all friends in a bar and they create the idea? I feel like this is really the start of all this happening.
Yeah. So were y'all previously in school? Did y'all grow up around beer or alcohol, or did y'all enjoy beer? Where did that spark come from to be around beer?
For me, it was probably during recruiting trip time when you're looking at colleges, and
Right.
you away from the watchful eyes of the students who are hosting you, you find a way to sneak a beer, of course, because that would be an NCAA violation if you did otherwise.
Yeah.
So we did it totally on our own,
Right.
and away from all that. But that was kind of my first introduction to craft beer, which it's kind of different for
In Philly or in California?
In Philly.
Okay, in Philly, yeah.
So it was for me. I know a lot of the parties and stuff there. They you get some crappy beers. You get Beast and Natty and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There's also, if you're celebrating something, you get a keg of Yingling.
Yeah.
There.
Yes, Yingling lager.
Yingling, which it's still there, and it has a nostalgic place in my heart.
Right.
And I still enjoy it from time to time.
I mean, it does for me too.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, like I think a lot of people talk about those beers in a way. It's like, yeah, they're there and they have their place in time, and like a lot of that's an entry into craft beer. I feel like a lot of people had, some, what do you call it, yellow sparkling water or something like that.
Oh, yeah, fizzy gold and liquid.
Fizzy gold and liquid.
It always starts with fizzy gold
and liquid, and that's kind of your entry into to beer. So, do you remember the first, outside of Yingling, do you remember your first craft beer?
Yeah, and it was at a house party where somebody I knew from swimming when I was in high school, she was walking around with a bottle of something. She's like, "You want to try this?" And I said, "Sure." And so I just took a sip, and it was the most like bitter, just like, what the hell is this? Like, it wasn't bad, but just kind of, it shook my palate. It gave me a little bit
shocked
of a
your
shock.
taste buds.
And then I looked at it, and it was like, it was a hop on it with little horns on it. I'm like,
yes,
and
arrogant bastard.
No, it was not that one. No, it was a Victory Hop Devil.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's like
Sorry for jumping the gun.
Oh no, that's okay. It's got the little things like some of the plant folds like up like that, and has a little like beady eyes and a smile. But that was kind of my first mind blowing experience in terms of like beer can taste like this, because everything else was, it was the fizzy yellow stuff. It was oh man, there's the one with the bulldog on it, the red Red Dog, which was just like a red colored macro lager.
Yeah, I feel like it was almost a strong ale, and I think it was called like Red Dog Ale. Yeah.
And then there was
it
also,
looked like the Gonzaga Bulldog. It was just like
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Very
then
cool.
there was always like that, what is it, J.W. Dundee Honey Brown.
Yeah.
So they were like,
That sounds
craft
great,
E, but nothing on that level. So that kind of started my journey. That plus a really good friend of mine that I knew in college, and we kind of just go to the bars and like pick up some 6-packs of things we didn't know. We just go buy stuff and start exploring it.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the we started out, we cut our teeth on Yards and Victory, and then it kind of went all around the Northeast.
Victory is such a good brand too, because they had such a wide foray, because they got in when it was like you created a brewery that was specific to one style, and that was your success. And they did like Belgians, they did such a wide array. And this was, I know this because it was available on the West Coast, like when I started drinking in like 2012, which was like unheard of. That was still like, craft beer was starting to get popular, but it's still kind of like iffy of like, is this a tangible business or is this just a fad?
Yep.
How did drinking and collegiate swimming go hand in hand? Like
peas in a pod.
Hand in hand.
Yeah, I mean, you behave yourself, but it's just it's people running around and like that are just looking to like excess energy to spend because you're
swimming so much and expending so much energy.
But like if you have downtime or something like that, you're like, well, we're gonna go to the bar, we're gonna go somebody's house.
I love
like
that.
So
that's wild.
Had a couple good friends that were not that wanted to like explore a little bit more, but on the craft side. But yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Love that. I think I'm just trying to give like a promo to say to athletes, like, you can drink craft beer and do your and like play your sport. It doesn't just have to be Michelob Ultras or Natty Lights and 36 of them in a night.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
That's so awesome.
It's a very inspirational message. I love that.
Sponsored by the NIL at CW.
Amazing. All right. So so y'all have met in California. You've been drinking craft beer. Were you also, what was your spark?
Yeah, what was your foray?
Beer?
I was not the biggest drinker in undergrad, and when I did, it was usually cocktails and hard liquor.
Okay.
When I moved out to Los Angeles following undergrad, my roommates would pretty regularly carry just kind of your yellow fizzy stuff. Newcastle Brown was one of their favorites, Guinness. But I would say, to be honest, I think my first real like kind of memory of drinking craft beer would be at like a BJ's restaurant and
gotcha.
pizzeria. So like the chain of pizza restaurants down there, and they have some of them have their own brew houses on site, and they were just making their own beer. And so I would say that was actually my first real memory of actually drinking craft beer.
Craft beer.
Oh, nice. Do you remember, like, was it a blonde or like what was that first sip?
Absolutely would have been like a blonde or a
Okay,
lager.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice.
Very cool.
I think that's so quintessential too. Like it's special to have those places because
Yeah.
it's the foray that leads into stuff like Lucky Envelope and like more finer attuned things.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so you've found your like love for craft beer. Were there other people around you? Because you had some friends that were doing some craft beer enjoyment. Did you have any friends that were drinking craft beer?
No, it was never really a prominent part of our social activities. It would just be going out to a bar and grabbing whatever was on the menu. So it wasn't ever a something we were seeking out.
Right, gotcha.
But once I moved to Seattle and I was hanging out with Barry more on the weekends, he'd be homebrewing, once a month, twice a month, and I would sit around and play video games and do nothing while he did all the work, and then I would just get to consume things throughout the day.
That's essentially what I do.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
But then I have to go can and keg.
yeah. I mean, so it was a great relationship for me. I was just like, like Barry's doing all the work. I'm just gonna chill here and play video games, like hang out with his dog, and
Yeah.
You're R&D. You didn't realize that you were consuming a lot of R&D.
Yeah, quality control.
Yeah. So what brought you up to Washington? What brought you up to Washington, and then how did you start homebrewing?
I ended up. It was last couple months of grad school, and they had their job fairs and
At UCLA.
and then I ended up talking to a company that was based in Seattle, and exchanged information, and then they reached out to me to see if I wanted to come up for an interview. And I said, I've never been to Seattle, so might as well travel and see what it's like, and kind of fell in love with the city.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
Oh, nice.
No, of course, it was a very stereotypical, it's like, it was, early March, and it was sunny and like 55 degrees, and everybody was in such good spirits.
They suckered you in.
But I liked it here, and then also, it's kind of weird to say now, but LA was, at that time, like that was 2008, was pretty relatively expensive.
Yeah.
And Seattle was not.
Yeah.
So it was like, if I wanted to live in that kind of West LA area
environment,
I'd have to have like roommates and all that stuff. And like at that time I preferred to live separately. And then so I was like, but Seattle's more affordable. I can actually get like a 1-bedroom apartment for something reasonable.
The craft beer here is popping off probably
it was,
as well.
the beer was
2008.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. I think Fremont started around that time.
Yep.
You already had like Georgetown, and maybe Rubens was already up. You had some old schools like Mac and Jack's, but
Mac and Jackson Manny's was everywhere,
Manny's.
and Deschutes Mirror Pond Pale Ale. That was everywhere, and it was great, and
and we can't forget the Pike Place Brewing.
Of course,
but that's been there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh man.
Yep.
For sure. So that you're here, you're working. Were y'all here at when did y'all move at the same time, or like stay in touch? What did that look like?
So you came up here in 2008, I believe.
Yes, 2008.
And I moved up here August of 2010.
Okay, very cool.
So my move actually coincided basically with his wedding and his wife moving up to Seattle from the San Diego area.
Okay.
So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, so like my move actually just overlapped with his whole family coming up to join him here in Seattle, and I tagged along right behind him.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, love that.
Nice.
How did you get into homebrewing then?
It was it kind of happened. The idea got planted in my head probably 2007 or so, and that's when I was traveling between Davis and LA a lot. So Southwest flights were so cheap that I would just do that. But through over like a year, I got to know the bartender who would work Thursday nights at LAX at the Gordon Biersch.
Oh, nice.
And
Gordon Biersch.
At Gordon Biersch, of course.
Yeah.
And,
Chris worked at Gordon Biersch for a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Our friend Chris.
Got it. So my guy was Mo, and then I know I was drinking. It was their Maibach, which is a great Maibach. Gordon Biersch, of course, all their German stuff was awesome.
Yeah.
But that was like in my hophead phase, and I said to Mo, I was like, man, this beer needs more hops. Like it needs to be more IPA. And the guy, Mo, just like stared daggers into my head. And then that was like the realization moment that I don't know anything. I don't know nearly as much as I pretend to know
Right.
about craft beer, and
Okay.
maybe I should actually put my money where my mouth is and learn.
Yeah.
The
Well, you
process.
were exploring.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
To someone so stalwart in the tradition, they were like,
Yeah.
no.
No.
German beer is like,
Yeah.
Reinheitsgebot.
Yeah,
No.
he's like, you're an idiot. So then when I moved up to Seattle, had my apartment, I ended up going to pick up a homebrew kit and all that stuff from
Oh, nice.
now no longer existing homebrew store called Bob's in
Okay.
the Ravenna neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
I've heard of Bob's
yeah,
before.
and started brewing on my stove there.
Yeah.
And made a couple batches that were fine.
Yeah.
Nothing great.
Yeah.
That sparked like the interest and curiosity.
That, and then hanging around with other engineers, nerdy folks, kind of in the heyday of craft beer. Like there's probably 3 or 4 of us that were new to the company and that had interest in brewing. So we ended up just
Making some spreadsheets.
a lot of spreadsheets. Yeah.
So yeah, that's amazing. So y'all are just home brewing. Love it. You come up, you're hanging out, y'all are home brewing. So when was the conversation of like, we should open something? We should do a business. What did that look like?
Yeah, the evolution into Lucky Envelope.
Yeah. Okay. So that would have been September 2013. I had left my corporate career a few months prior, and I had just come back from a road trip around the country. And we're homebrewing at Barry's place one afternoon, and Barry's mentioning that he's, not in love with his job anymore, and is thinking about maybe doing something different. And I think several hours later, we're sending out emails and making phone calls to suppliers just to get like a ballpark estimate on how much it would cost to basically start a brew pub. Like the original concept was going to be a sports bar or a sports brew pub.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
basically.
gotcha.
And, for years, we had been going to Buckley's in Belltown to watch NFL Sunday Tickets.
Yes, Buckwheats.
Because it was like the only place near where we lived that had all the games on, even though we had to
Right.
like find the one table with the one TV showing our game throughout
Right.
the day. We would go there week in, week out because there were no other sports bars. And growing up on the East Coast and even living in Los Angeles,
A ton.
the sports bar scene is so much better than it is here in Seattle. Even today, the sports bar scene is difficult here.
Oh, yeah.
Like you can't go to an establishment and just sit there and watch 8 games all at once. You have to sit in a specific area.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, let's do a sports brew pub concept, and quickly scaled everything back down to maybe it should just be like a brewery with a tasting room. And from there it was basically about a year of business planning, fundraising, and then eventually seeking out the real estate. So, but it was almost just a back of napkin type thing
Yeah.
on that very first evening of us chatting about the potential of like opening up something.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
so
just
cool.
having conversation. I love that. I mean,
Who
it does
are
happen.
y'all's teams? Sorry to run
Yeah,
over your
go ahead.
question.
You're
Who are
good.
y'all's teams that you're wanting to watch at your tap room?
I grew up a Commanders fan.
Okay, gotcha.
But after living in Los Angeles, I became a Chargers fan.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for you?
I'm Eagles fan.
Eagles
Yeah.
fan? Yeah. Go Birds, go.
World champs.
Is there ever contention when y'all are playing each other?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But
Perfect.
his wife is a Chargers fan as well, so I don't know what happens
Okay.
at home.
Oh,
You're
so you're like,
like,
I have the
house
hand up on you.
It's all eventually. It just ends up being subterfuge with using children as your props. So that's like you're just playing mental warfare with each other. Like when you have one kid like just starts like cheering for the other team, you're like, what's going
What's
on?
happening?
Go
Yeah.
Birds.
No, I
Who
think-
taught him to say that?
But I think overall, my love of Philadelphia sports overshadows
Yeah.
her appreciation of California sports. So
Yeah.
it's definitely more of a Philadelphia household.
I will say our short time in the East Coast,
We loved it.
like the sports bar
It's
community.
great. We went to a couple. I
Yeah,
couldn't even tell you.
there
which
was one
ones, but we did.
laundromat we used to go to across the place is called Pat's Pizza, and it was a Patriots bar.
Yes.
But like the community was there was so
It's so
nice.
great.
It was the perfect blend of kind of like ribbing from strangers you didn't know that then eventually treated you like family.
Yeah.
And like I think that is something special. So I can totally see the vision of where you're like, we want that same atmosphere
Yeah.
here. Like that's what we want people to experience here.
Yeah.
So that's
for sure.
awesome.
I love that so much.
Yeah, Seattle, we don't have an accent. We're just passive aggressive and cold. That's what we do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Or the Northwest. I shouldn't say Seattle, Washington State.
Yeah.
We're very optimistic. We're like, yeah, we can totally turn all the introverts into extroverts.
Right.
It's super easy.
Yeah. So easy.
It's a bold
How's that
goal.
going? How's that?
Yeah,
How's that working for y'all?
I'm more introverted.
Yeah. They eventually turn to you like the White Walkers. I grew up in Washington State. I'm like, no, you just become one of them. Yeah.
I love it so much. Okay, so how did y'all's families react when y'all were like, we're leaving our jobs? Obviously, it took some time to get something started, but like, what was the support like from family?
And also, how'd you come up with the name?
I guess I'll get started here. For the most part, my family was pretty supportive of the idea. For many years, they knew that I wanted to start my own business. We just never really knew what that business was going to be. But like a lot of Asian moms, my mom kind of freaked out. First, when I quit my job and just traveled around the country for 3 months. And then second, when I was like, I'm opening a brewery.
Yeah.
And she's like, you've never been a brewer. You don't know how to brew. And then
That's any mom, by the way.
And it's like, and then like your business partner like has never run a business either. Like this is the dumbest idea ever.
Right.
And so over time, definitely a lot more supportive. But that initial shock of leaving corporate America, like basically the stability of a job, and then now diving into becoming a business owner for the first time.
Yeah.
Like those two stress points were definitely kind of a hump to get over with my mom in particular.
Yeah. Doing something totally different too, because I think we're all born and raised in the age where it's like you need to have a plan, work hard, people will pay you out. Like that's your track in life.
Right.
And that's not been what's panned out. And so it's like you have to get creative or you have to chase what you do. Otherwise, just be in line like everybody else.
Yeah, for sure. What about your family?
So my immediate family, Catherine, my spouse, she knew where I was coming from. She knew that I was not happy at my corporate job. So that's kind of maybe an accelerated midlife crisis thing that pops up. But when you get thrown into middle management and you get pulled away from the thing you actually enjoy doing, and you ask for a demotion, and they're like, "No, get out of here." So I knew that my time there was relatively short, and then it was an opportunity where, she understood my passion, and she knew that I made a good product, from at least at home. That there was a potential, but I think it was probably more of she saw it as a mental health thing. So
For sure.
that's from that side, and then my parents were probably pretty similar to raise, but family of immigrants, and they're like kind of that American dream that's ingrained in their heads, and they're trying to that's what they know, so they try to instill that on their kids, and then they when you want to break off that mold, and I mean, you look at the two of us, we fit that mold perfectly. I mean, grad degrees, corporate life, and if we stuck with it for 10, 20 years, we'd be doing incredibly financially. I mean, whether your personal health and your mental well-being is going to be in that spot. But they definitely freaked out to drink.
How did y'all come up with the name Lucky Envelope?
So we probably spent a few weeks brainstorming the names, and looking back at that era of craft breweries, it could have been easy for us to be like, Ray and Barry's Brewery, or named after one of our pets, right? And the one we kept falling back on relates to Chinese culture, and so we tossed it out there, Lucky Envelope. And it comes from the tradition of the elderly generation giving the younger generation the red envelopes filled with money for special occasions, major life milestones. So typically when you get married, have a kid, graduate school, start a business, elderly generation will give you that red envelope. And it's money inside is to bring you prosperity and good luck, and the color red is to ward off evil spirits. And after those few weeks of brainstorming, that's the one we kept coming back to, and it's the one that really resonated with us, and so that's the one we ultimately, moved forward with.
Yeah.
Did it almost feel like y'all were having a lucky envelope in terms of like opening this business? Was it like kind of manifestation in that?
I mean, I think in some regards, sure. Again, I think the way we've approached the brewery from kind of day one to where it is today, the goal was always to kind of incorporate some of our Chinese heritage into it. And, you know, so I think the name, just starting there, was a great story to tell. And people ask, like, where does the name come from?
Right.
And then we start explaining it, and then it kind of clicks with most people. They realize, like, oh, like, I've seen that before. Just didn't really know what it represented and, like, what it meant. So it's almost like a great icebreaker when we have new customers walk through the door and, like, oh, where'd the name come from?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. We love hearing the story of how people come up with the name for their breweries or businesses. It's so cool it brings so much personality from the people who are pouring themselves into the business, obviously, because you're an entrepreneur, you're going to pour everything you have into it, and, you know, so are your families, essentially. And so bringing all that to a name, I feel like, is so, I don't know, impactful, and it is a great thing for anyone who is coming in as a customer or, you know, is a regular to understand that. And I think it helps so much.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
why it
deep
gives
connection.
Yeah.
It connects consumer to the business and product. And I think in a day and age where people want to know who they're buying from and the story about it, like, that's important. It's no longer just like mass produced stuff that was like popular in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Yeah. And now it's like care for like what you spend your money, where you spend it at.
Yeah, I love that so much. What kind of beer were y'all wanting to bring to the table whenever y'all opened?
Smoothie IPAs?
Always. So the passion for me, kind of at the end of my homebrewing, turning into the professional side, has been lagers. So our Helles lager, which we've had since pretty much day one, that was the beer that we opened with, much to the tasting room and Ray's chagrin, because at that time people knew lager, they knew Pilsner, but they didn't know, like, when you add Helles in front of it,
You're like, what's this?
everybody's minds were just like, would melt, and and then that would be the question. It's number one, what's your name mean? Number two, what's a Helles lager? And just repeating that story time and time again it's a lot.
Yeah.
But now it's been interesting to see over the last 10 years. I mean, it's hard to go to a brewery and not find some kind of lager, and a lot of times it's not uncommon to find a Helles.
Yeah.
And I think the consumer they've also expanded their knowledge base, and they know what that entails. So that's been great. But
I think I would say the Northwest area has done a good job on beer education for people to know more, because, you know, people will be like, oh, do you have a porter or stout on? Like, especially during the summertime. And it's like, no, but we have a Czech dark. Oh, I don't want to drink that. And it's like, it's a very similar thing. Just try it, and then you educate them. So that's amazing.
Yep. And then going back to like what we wanted to have, so IPA, because IPAs were they were just a fad. They just disappeared. Nobody's drinking them now. So IPA is still king, and so we had our ENIAC, so a version of that, and it's evolved over the years. But that beer that we currently have is a core beer, still a core beer, and then we ended up doing a stout, and then we did one Asian inspired beer, which was it was a Belgian triple with Thai lime leaves and lemongrass.
Oh, nice! Oh, I love lemongrass in beer.
Yeah, we do.
So that was our tiptoe into it. As a home brewer, I played around with ingredients.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, as like you were evolving as doing your homebrew, like what did your education for yourself of like the styles and what ingredients and different things, what did that look like for you?
I mean, it kind of started out as trying to clone your favorite beers. You know which ones you like, and you get the recipes from the brewer, or you listen to a podcast or read a book and dissect it, and then try to replicate or make your own version of that. So that's kind of how it starts out, just kind of more imitation, and just being inspired, and eventually you kind of figure out like where your palate lies, and where you're like where you want to emphasize and where you want to pull away from.
Yeah, put your own personality on it, because I feel like that was the age where there was a lot of information, but there wasn't a lot of direction with the information. It was just like, hey, I've done this. Hey, I've done this. And then somebody was like, have you done this? And then added this. And somebody was like, No, but let's try it. You know, there wasn't refined processes.
Were you able to do
about
that with the homebrew shop and your friends? Like, were you all, so y'all were kind of this community that you had, you were able to kind of
that
bounce?
plus the my homebrew club at the time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What was the homebrew club that
North
you were in?
Seattle Homebrewers.
All right, shout out North Seattle Homebrewers.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That was around and then around the time where I joined the club, there was somebody who became a really good friend, and I consider her a mentor. She was there. She's been homebrewing for a while. One of the best palates I know.
Nice.
One of the best brewers I know.
Who is that mentor? Do you mind if we share her name?
Yeah, Annie Johnson.
Okay, gotcha.
So she lives in Seattle, but she's currently wrapping up some employment in Sacramento.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, she literally got the key to the brewery at Pilsner Urquell by winning like the homebrew competition.
Wow.
Where like they'll like, you brew your version of Pilsner Urquell, and then you submit it, and then like they find the beer that like most closely resembles that in spirit and
That's
flavor.
insane.
And so it was a nationwide competition, and she won that. So she got like a whole trip to Prague and got to hang out with Vaclav for a
Holy
week
fuck.
and all that. So like she's amazing.
That's
And-
incredible.
and she's a-
That's one of the most amazing things we've ever heard on this podcast.
Yeah. So she's like a really good friend of mine, and she kind of helped me cut my teeth. She was more harsh, but then she also like shook her head at me when I was just adding fun stuff into beer. Like what people always remember is I did a Belgian pale ale, but with instead of putting like sugar in there, one of my friends wanted red Sour Patch Kids.
Yes.
Oh,
So-
interesting.
So she ended up buying like 50 pounds, no, maybe like 30 pounds of Sour Patch Kids.
And like
Whole
separating
bags.
them out,
She separated them out, so I had like a 5-pound thing of
each color.
Interesting.
of the red one specifically,
Red
which is
one
what she
specifically.
wanted.
Okay,
So,
what was it? What is it for that raspberry? Or is that raspberry? What was the inspiration for that?
just messing around.
Okay,
yeah,
nice.
it was
Very
a play
cool.
around, but
Very
How
cool.
did it turn out?
it was good.
Yeah.
It never won any homebrew competitions, but they said that the flavor was there. It was just like it didn't really match up super well.
looks
I'm
like Kool-Aid.
Oh, okay.
Like
That's fine.
all
Yeah,
right.
it tastes like lingonberry. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Nice.
Do y'all still like to do stuff like that now? Like, do you like to bring in interesting ingredients or like kind of mix things up?
Yeah, so that's kind of where I cut my teeth in terms of like adding non-traditional ingredients in beer. So it's always the foundation of making sure your base beer is technically as good as you can make it with the equipment that you have. So
Yeah.
that's where like my love of lagers comes into play. But let's see,
I know.
looking at
I
what we
wanted to,
have.
like, look at y'all's.
I was already looking at the tap list, and I love it.
The hot sour
Yeah.
jalapeno.
I really do
Yeah.
enjoy that you have a grapefruit IPA. I
Raspberry.
literally was
Ooh,
talking
grapefruit.
to one of my cohorts the other day where it's like I remember drinking like a Green Flash Session IPA, having like a fresh like ruby red grapefruit, eating it raw, and then being like, wait a second, and I like took a sip, ate it, and then put it in there, and then it was like 2 months later, Ballast Point was everywhere. Like Sculpin IPA was everywhere. Washington State, I was like,
Sculpin.
Yeah.
Habanero Sculpin.
and that was a lot. I feel like that was like a big push where people were like, oh shit, you don't just have to brew just like a standard good quality beer. You can be creative with it. So that's awesome that you started cutting your teeth. Y'all both did in like having these myriad of ingredients
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
on awesomely well
Yeah, so
crafted base beer.
we have events occasionally every couple weeks where we will play around. We might have a theme for it. So just last week we had Spicy Beer Day. So that's why right now,
Yeah.
I think the beers are going to be going
Scorched
away, but-
Earth Saison.
Yeah, so like a Carolina Reaper and
Yeah.
Serrano Saison.
Oh my god.
Nice. I thought it was gonna be Scorpion Pepper. I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that but you can also play around with it like habanero and a fruited sour because it's what I think it's pineapple and guava. So
Yeah.
those flavors play really well together too. So I love doing that stuff. It's fun to experiment and just showcase what non-traditional ingredients can do to enhance beer and change it and change people's perception of it.
Yeah.
Do you have like inspiration? Like, does it come from culinary stuff? Like, are you like, cooking at home or eating at restaurants, or like you have a snack or something? You're like, oh, what would this do with a beer? Is that kind of how it comes about?
Yeah, so from the early get-go, Barry mentioned the Belgian triple with the Thai lime leaves and lemongrass. That kind of combination of ingredients, I believe, spawned from a trip that he and his wife took to Thailand.
Okay.
And so it was based off kind of their experience traveling through that country. And over the past 10 years, all of our staff have contributed to kind of the flavor profiles and the ingredients that we use just
awesome.
from their personal experiences, whether it's out vacationing, or they went to this awesome restaurant, or they went to this
Had
other brewery
something,
and tried this style of beer, this flavor beer. And so some of the more popular ingredients we use pretty regularly now include like tea. That's really popular here. Peppers have become pretty popular.
Yeah.
And then just like a lot of other breweries, fruit.
Yeah.
Right? That's a really easy one to use, and it goes well with a lot of different styles of beer. And, Barry mentioned that every few weeks we have different potentially themed beer releases. So the ones that have really caught on here, Spicy Beer Day is kind of new to us. This is our, 15th month doing it, I guess.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
But we've been doing like sour beer days pretty regularly for 6-7 years now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then tea house beer days have been a thing, maybe once or twice a year. And then cocktail beer day used to be a thing, and that was kind of my push. And I think early on there was a lot of interest, and then after the pandemic, I think people's profiles changed and their preferences changed, where like a cocktail inspired beer was no longer really popular. So we've kind of sunset that program for now, but every now and then we might borrow from some of those drinks I've had out and about at restaurants and be like, oh, this would be really interesting in a beer. So
Yeah.
I love that.
The newer generations coming up, I think there's a lot of doom and gloom. Like they are drinking less, but they are more so they go drinking for an event because it has to be like immortalized on social media. Like that's their whole thing that gets their dopamine. Whereas before it was like, hey, we've created this beautiful beer cocktail that like it inspires us with X, Y, and Z, and we want to educate and share that with you. So I think that's like a good pivot, and also great to think that like it's not totally gone. It's also, I find it really cool that you're delving into your employees' knowledge. Like when they go on vacation and get inspired by something and they tell you about it, it's something you take into consideration. It's not just like, oh yeah, sure, and then like never think about it. That's like the deepest well of knowledge you have is like the people that work for you that go out, eat and drink, and then bring that back to you. Super awesome.
Yeah, I love it. How did y'all find this place? Y'all were talking about looking for real estate. So has this always been the only location, or did y'all move from a different location? What's that story with the physical space of the brewery and tap room?
This has been our only location since we opened. To be honest, we were sitting at a bar across from Barry's house and complaining to the bartender at like 1 o'clock on a Tuesday or something that we have spent like 5 months searching for a location for the brewery. And this lady sits down next to us, is overhearing us complaining, and it's just like, hey, I work for this real estate agent. I just printed off these flyers. It hasn't hit the public yet, but I just want to hand this off to you, and if you're interested, just reach out to my boss. And we came down.
Divine intervention.
We actually looked at a few locations, one in Magnolia, and then this place here, and there may have been a third actually.
South Lake Union.
Yeah. So we looked at a handful of properties with this particular.
This is 2014, 2015?
This would have been 2014.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah. So there were still some big breweries, but that was still all real estate to be used up. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So, I think ideally we would have been in Upper Queen Anne, but back then the buildings were so old that the ceilings were too low for the kind of size of system that we wanted to go with. And so
it's nice. You'll actually have a huge space back there.
Yeah, how it like opens up in the top. Yeah.
So like Magnolia, Ballard, other neighborhoods kind of piqued our interest because of the older industrial warehouse buildings that were here. And so, we kind of lucked out running into that person at the bar.
No, it was divine. It was
It
divine intervention.
So,
how was the reception when y'all opened up here for the community of Ballard?
I think the overall craft beer community was super supportive of having more craft breweries opening up.
Awesome.
Earlier I mentioned that over time we've kind of introduced a lot of our Chinese heritage and upbringing into the culture and philosophy of the brewery, but coming out the gates, we actually steered away from that. We really wanted everyone to focus on just Barry making good quality beer and not focus so much on kind of the cultural aspect of the ownership here. And it was interesting, that first year or two, we got some feedback from neighbors, like people who live down the street here, that they didn't want to come in because somebody they knew came in here and said we were the weird, Chinese brewery. And at the time, we had like 7 beers when we first opened, 6 beers. So we were like, okay, we had 1 beer on the tap list that had lemongrass and Thai lime leaves. Like everything else was standard style of beer. You know?
Yeah.
This is a little disappointing that that's how people are referring to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, it took us a little bit of time just to kind of build ourselves, build a reputation to get out of that mindset of like, oh, it's like the weird Chinese brewers, the weird Asian breweries, the weird ingredients. And that kind of resonated with us and stuck with us. Like that adjective, it was, and I'm sure for Barry it was more upsetting just being the brewer, right? But for me, it was like, okay, this is probably just an education thing. Like, we really want to focus on the quality of the beer. And, over time, we will eventually start introducing a lot more of the culture and heritage behind it. But, let's just stick with the beer. And so, 10 years later, every now and then we still run into similar issues where, we're still referred to as like the Asian brewery. And that's fine. We celebrate that.
Yeah.
But it is continuing to, educate everyone on like, how great a brewer Barry is. He's being invited to speak at Craft Brewers Conference and
you guys have many accolades
Washington
too.
Craft Beer Summit, and so it's like finding that balance, right?
Right.
We love telling our story. We love being one of the breweries in America that identifies as Asian owned. We love all that stuff.
Yeah.
We continue to promote that. But at the same time, we just want to make sure that people aren't losing sight of the actual product that's coming out.
Right.
That is, obviously receiving some accolades and being well received by the general public. And
y'all have been around for 10 years
years,
in Seattle, like in the Seattle area, Ballard specifically. But like to be a craft brewery to survive through now COVID too. Like, that's incredible. You're doing a really great thing, an amazing thing, making great beer. People talk about y'all. Like, I mean, it's, So,
Thank you.
Yeah. Like, that's so cool. Like, we know several breweries that have closed down, and we read about it every single week of breweries that are closing down. It's like, you're doing a good thing with the community and doing great beer. Like, there shouldn't be an issue.
It's hard and annoying to get pigeonholed into something that, like, that's not what you're representing. But at the same token, you're trying to be like, we're not hiding this identity. We don't want you to be identified as like, we're a grand fucking brewery. And we also have our Chinese heritage that we enjoy celebrating. And it's weird to get like both sides of the token where it's like, oh, this is what we focus on. But then you have other people that are like, oh, you should celebrate this more. And it's like, you grew up in the hardest beer time too, starting a brewery. Like starting a brewery in 2014, 2015 when Ballast Point had just sold for $1 billion. Everybody was starting a brewery, and brewers were. That's insane to like live through that and then live through COVID, and still just be like, no, we're here because we are us. Like, this is it.
Yeah, I think it should be celebrated. Like, I love it, and I think y'all are doing an amazing thing, and those people are missing out. So. Yeah, like that's their own thing. They're missing out on really cool beer. Like, where else can you get some of this stuff? Like, you probably can't in the area, right? Like, you can't get a beer that has different ingredients that you wouldn't normally find, and I think that's a cool thing.
I think we talk about like moments in time. It's like, enjoy the shit while it's here, because it's gonna change year after year after year, and when it's special for you, like, hold on to that, because it will change. Life goes on, and that's just a matter of it. And I don't know, like, have that. Don't be mad that it's like you want it to be different, you want it to be this.
I'm sure, like, with your staff and everything.
Sorry, we're obviously passionate about everybody in this industry. We love it.
With your staff, like, how do y'all approach it with y'all's team as well? Like, what does that look like?
We're pretty open when we're bringing people on board, and we're doing kind of continuing education, if you will, with the group, and they've all been extremely supportive. And I think this team that we have 11 total employees, including me and Barry.
Oh, awesome!
It's a big team.
I think the shortest tenured person now is 3 years. So we've had very little turnover, basically since the pandemic, which is really fantastic for any business.
Right.
But I think even all the employees who have come and gone have always embraced kind of everything that we've done, the philosophy that we've built the brewery around. They've been supportive of all of the beers that Barry's making, whether they're super creative or they're just kind of traditional styles. And, that has definitely, helped us reach the 10-year mark. Right?
I'm sure.
All the tasting room bartenders who are, facing customers day in, day out, and being able to share our story and being able to sell the beer, and then having the rest of our brew team and our office staff with me, working on social media and marketing and promoting the brand. Everyone has been great about it, and we're really lucky to have had the support of, we've had so many employees roll through here now. But 10 years worth of employees, like every single one of those people is a part of our history and always will be a part of our history.
Yeah,
and
it's integral.
And without them, we wouldn't be where we are today.
Yeah.
If you,
I
because this
Yeah,
question
you
popped in my head, I think that's amazing. What are words of either like wisdom or success you can give to other businesses right now, like how you retain those employees? Because I think that's like one of the biggest problems in this industry is there's so much turnover and we're losing so much experience. You have neat people shoved into positions that get burnt out and don't want to come back. What would you suggest to other businesses of being like, this is what you need to do to invest and keep your employees here long term?
I think the most important thing that I've learned is lead by example.
Amazing.
It's easier said than done, but when we have people when my team, sometimes it's more 2-3 people. Right now it's with Matt, but I'm not going to delegate just the tasks that I want to do to me. We're going to do the same shit, and clean kegs, get in there, scrub tanks, do whatever. That I think I find that not just in the brewing industry, but kind of in businesses, you see it translate to kitchen, all that stuff. But when an owner or a leader doesn't lead by being willing to step into it, the staff's just going to sit there like, why am I going to do that?
Right.
So if you can do that while taking care of everything else, I think for me that's the biggest piece of advice I can give.
Do you feel
awesome.
like that came from your middle management experience previous?
Yes.
Yeah.
A
little bit?
I guess on that side, everybody was doing that stuff, but I guess it maybe just stemmed more from corporate life. Ray and I talk about that all the time, but we just wanted to make a culture that was not that culture.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I
So
feel
not
that.
the corporate office life
So
culture.
yeah, and you could see that hierarchy too. Like engineers engineers actually did a wide variety of stuff, but then you could see the way that the front desk receptionists, some of the office workers were treated, and they weren't treated nearly as nicely. You're like, why?
Why?
We're all doing the same stuff. We're all working for the same goal.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to just be like, condescending.
Yeah.
100%.
Things like that. So but you see that, and like it's just the culture that we did not want to have.
Yeah.
And getting from that point to like at least how we think we like to run things. There's a lot of stuff in between there. But,
Yeah.
that's where it all stems from. And, and communication. I think. Of course. So the two easiest things: lead by example and communication.
Yeah.
Two easiest things to say and probably
Hardest
to execute.
Because I feel like they're always ever changing.
Yeah.
The landscape of work is changing, and then how
ways to communicate is changing.
Yeah. And I feel like communication also goes in seasons. Like during peak season, I feel like communication is harder because there's so much going on and there's like a different air and tension about it. And then if you get in fall and winter, I feel like it tends to like cool down, and then you're able to like filter through and be like, okay, during busy season, this is where we got gunked up on. How do we make this better? And how do we make it more efficient next year so people don't feel like they're getting bogged down or burnt out or whatnot?
That is like I think it's a cool thing. I have corporate experience, and I talk about a lot when the stuff that we do or the breweries that he's worked in and different things like that. And you can glean so much from corporate experience because there were things that you probably enjoyed and liked, but again, the culture, it sounds like, same for me, was like, that's not what I want. So being able to take some of those processes and techniques and tools to help you build the community, it sounds like y'all have done that here, the community with the things to help y'all succeed. I think it definitely translates, and I can definitely see that. I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there an ingredient that y'all haven't used yet that y'all are really excited to try out?
Ooh.
as you
Well,
smile.
we've already done a durian beer,
Yep.
so
Oh,
that's a
nice.
big one that is off the list now.
Isn't durian the fruit when you rip it open? It smells like rotting flesh.
And we did it for
Nice.
April Fool's Day and actually released it, and it sold out in like 3 hours.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
that's awesome.
That's wild. How did it taste?
so good.
Smell all the things?
It
What?
tasted and smelled like durian.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
It's
It's so
it's
that's
not a
cool
ringing
that-
endorsement. It's an endorsement of it tasted like it should.
Yeah.
hell
There
yeah.
you go. And you're on April Fools. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
That's solid.
nobody thought we would do it, and then it spread like wildfire on social media. We had people like calling us like a few days later, like, "Do you still have it on tap? Like, we really need to try this." We're like, "Wow."
Yeah.
Yeah, next you have to run it through your crowler or canning line. It'll be nice.
Then you'll have to get a new crowler or canning line. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing we work with a mobile canner.
Oh yeah. There you go.
Shout out Northwest Canning, whoever does it. We'll see you with the durian beer next year.
Yeah. Is
Oh,
there
that's
is there
awesome.
another ingredient that you've been itching to try?
We've experimented with a lot.
I know,
of
it's
fun
been 10
things.
years,
Like
yeah.
bull kelp, that's one that rings to mind because there's so much out there. And we talked to Salmon Island Brewing last year, and they
Oh,
did like a bull
doing
kelp something.
Yeah.
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 No, I mean where my head, like on a serious note, where my head goes is it's just like all the starches,
Oh,
grains,
yeah.
food that sustains cultures that are not just. It's not like U.S. Euro centric or even like Asia centric. We're like rice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great, but a lot of different varieties of rice, but
Right.
you can't get necessarily like ready to make products. But also there's so many different kind of corns out there. All that, but then you can also start going to other countries and you start getting like root vegetables.
Yeah.
And those can all contribute really interesting characters.
Like heritage
to these.
grains. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or heritage root vegetables.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But like we
To
know.
get that starch. Yeah.
Yeah, so like it's
Interesting.
all a product that would go into beer, but right now our equipment doesn't sustain it. We can't do it in house, but
Mm-hmm.
we've collaborated with other breweries where we were able to do that, which was a lot of fun. So
Oh, nice.
throwing like taro into a
Oh,
beer,
yeah.
which sustains so much of Southeast Asia, Hawaii.
Yeah.
And we did that with Lad and Last, and that was a fun thing. But like that's where my head is, like being able to use all these like adjunct starches
Yeah.
as sources of sugar for yeast, and see how that would translate
Yeah,
into beer.
play out.
And like even the one that we just had a lot of success with, our Fonio Grisette. It's an African grain that it's getting more popular, but it's still not very well known, especially among the general populace.
Okay, is the grain called fonio?
Fonio? Yep.
Okay, was it so? Give some flavor, aroma, just so I know and our listeners can know.
Yeah, it's has more flavor character than like wheat, but it's actually kind of mild. Like it, I was expecting it to taste kind of more quinoa-y, like that nutty amino acid,
yeah.
like sour, like
Yeah.
kind of. It even gets a little sorghum-y. Like I find that's what a quinoa gets into.
Yeah, like
but
nutty
this,
and tart.
But this was actually very mild, so it was almost more like a cross. It's like maybe half and half between like cream of wheat and quinoa.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
Quinoa,
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So like it has a little bit of character, but it's like so smooth, and it's not like it's just.
Nice.
It was really really nice. So
That's very cool.
It does. I will say this too, because I mean, grain is also a great contributing factor, not just to like how yeast plays out, but also like color in the beer. Is that something that's also like on your mind when you look at those things?
There are some considerations again with ingredients that we don't currently use, but I'd like to. Where like even some of those they can add hues to a beer, but usually the percentage that you're using is relatively low. So you might get
Gotcha.
like an accent of color,
Okay.
or some influence, but for the most part, it doesn't affect it too
Yeah.
much.
No, yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's very cool.
I love that.
I'm so excited for y'all. How was y'all's 10-year anniversary? Did y'all have a party? What did y'all do? I see y'all have your beer on.
Yeah, we had a big party back in May, and then we're going to have some 10th anniversary adjacent events throughout the year.
Very
Nice.
But the big one is we have brought back all of our past brewers who were available.
Yeah.
Oh,
who
that's
now
fucking
work,
sweet.
Who now work at other breweries to do collaboration with them. And
That's so cool.
we've got 2 of them released, a third one being released tomorrow. We'll brew another, at least one in July. Matt will have his brew later this year, and then Barry might do a culminating brew with everybody.
That's so fun.
That's
I love
amazing.
That.
We'll definitely
Who
we'll put
can
that up.
do that? Like I've never heard of anyone bringing back like past brewers to like collaborate. That's amazing.
That's such a cool timeline
That's so
too.
cool.
It's almost paying homage to because sometimes people aren't able to during life circumstances to, stay in the same place for a long time, but may have loved this project. And so it's like a cool way to pay homage, be like, hey, we appreciate the time you were here. That's probably just something that's lost in a lot of business these days.
And it was a lot of fun. I still keep in contact with everybody that we worked with.
Yeah.
But it also gave me a little bit of realization of like how awesome of a kind of family that we've, like a tree that we've kind of established. But when
community that you've built.
So like our first, of the brewers that are on there, the first beer that we did was with Kyle. He's at Georgetown now.
Oh, nice.
And then the second beer we did was with Peter. He's now leading the brew deck at Watts in Woodinville.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And then the one we just brewed was with Megan. She's at Holy Mountain.
Yeah.
And the next one.
Wow, those are some great pedigrees.
Yeah,
next one. Awesome.
Next one in July, we're brewing with Josh. He's at Sun River in Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like,
Cool.
it's like you take a step back, you're like, holy shit! Like we're making something. We're still like I feel close with everybody, and it's amazing to kind of step back and realize like the impact and what we're doing. I feel like somewhere we're doing something that's right.
It is definitely.
It's all that human connection. I think that's what we enjoy. Like, I mean, we've been in this industry for 13 plus years.
Yeah.
And I've loved, we've been across the United States like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And the amount of people that we've met, 2,000, 5,000 miles away that have worked with somebody intimately that we've known for a long time. It's just like, this
That's
is
so
what
cool.
is so cool is connecting stories.
Yeah.
Like, everything is so intertwined, and that's special. Like,
I think it's cool too, like being able to help someone else in their journey. Like, this was y'all's journey to be here, and to help someone get further on their journey. And it may not be ultimately here, but to give them that step to be able to be at those places. And I think that's very cool. And like that y'all can still be in touch. Like, how many of our ex-employees or like employers do we keep in touch with? Like, not many at all.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very cool that y'all are able to stay in touch with those people and continue to have that community. I love it. That's so cool. Y'all are doing amazing things. Yeah, I love it. We have 2 questions. Sorry, I'm emotional.
no, I'm stoked. I'm like a golden retriever. I'm going to go like shadow box in the parking lot after this.
Okay, our last 2 questions. If you were to give advice to your younger self, it can be beer, non-beer related. What would the advice to your younger self be?
And I'll hit you with a heavy hitter.
We asked these 2 last questions of all of the podcasts we've done, so know that you're not alone in this.
I'll keep mine pretty basic, I guess. It's don't be afraid to take that risk, take that leap. There's always going to be people supporting you, and so it's absolutely scary to get out of your comfort zone and go do something completely different, and certainly in some cases unexpected, but stick to it. I think both Barry and me we're at a point in our careers where, like, if we don't do it now, it's probably never going to happen. Yeah. And so I'm glad that we did. It comes with its own set of stress points and challenges, but I think at the end of the day, we go to bed a lot happier than we used to working in different work environment. So it's all been a positive experience for us.
I think it's a cool thing that you've lived out this chapter of your life and you're continuing to live it. And I think that's inspirational for your kids or anybody else, because I think a lot of people probably live with regrets of like, I should have done this or started this, but too fearful to do so. And it's like, you have this one moment.
Yeah.
You might as well fucking try, because the worst thing you do is you'll fail and it's like, cool,
But
I can just get right back up.
Yeah. I think honestly, like, we've only been doing this podcast for a year. And so even for us, y'all have been here for 10 years. To hear that, it's like, it was hard. Yeah, we know that. It's like, but it will be and can be worth it if you are still doing the things that you love. So I think even for us, I'm like, okay, we'll be all right.
Yeah. It definitely gives inspiration to us.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Barry?
I think probably the biggest thing would be redefining your sense of failure. Where even if you aren't successful at something, then don't be afraid to keep trying, reaching out. That's my big thing, where I was, there's a lot of paralysis that I found happening in my youth.
Well, that's a good way to put it. Paralysis.
Yeah, that you just don't want to do it because you don't want to fail.
Yeah.
But rejection doesn't necessarily mean failure.
Yeah.
Rejection means that I wasn't successful. Can I, build your resilience,
Right.
and don't be afraid to speak up, say the stupid thing. It's better to make sure that you're heard rather than just be too afraid to voice your opinion.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
amazing. Like you have to put things out to be able to build and create and grow. If you just like hold it in, you're not doing anything with that. So it's like putting it out there. It is hard. I love that. Again, great advice for ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody growing up. Yeah. Sorry. Now that's making me.
I know.
It's
like
yeah,
honestly,
it really is. Like everybody grows up. We all grow up with so much fear of being
Yeah.
like, oh, like whatever I do needs to like be successful to make sure I'm okay. And there's so much of life where it's like, no, it's like throwing a dart at a dartboard. Like even if it
Yeah.
doesn't work, you're still okay.
Yeah.
Like you can still come back and start again, like over and over and over
Redirect,
until you decide to
learn,
stop. Like
grow.
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I
That's
love it.
awesome.
Y'all have great advice, man. 10 years.
And it's only 10:31 in the morning.
I know, it's amazing. I love it so much. All right, our last question. So I know y'all have done y'all's 10-year anniversary party, and y'all have a few beer releases coming up. Is there anything else that you're really excited about for the rest of 2025? Anything big coming up?
Well, festival season is upon us,
Oh yeah.
and so
And they are starting to come back in swing.
They
There are
are.
festivals are coming back from the COVID era.
yep. But I think the Loggerhead Festival.
Oh, we're gonna be there.
At No Boat,
is,
which
at
is
No Boat
awesome.
on July 19th.
That's very exciting.
We'll be
come
there
find
as
y'all.
well. We're excited for that, and Barry has spoken a lot about lagers today and how that's been kind of his passion style of beer, if you will, and having a large lager only event here in the Pacific Northwest is pretty amazing. I know Barry's traveled around the country to other lager festivals. But to have one basically in our backyard,
Yeah.
I think is a really great opportunity to introduce the Pacific Northwest to different styles of lagers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, especially one of their most popular ones was a Vietnamese lager called Bia Hoi, and I think they
Yeah.
used lemongrass in that
Yeah.
too.
I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
We had it last year, I think. Yeah.
So that's I think just going to be a fun event. Get to meet a lot of new breweries that we've probably heard about, but maybe never had their beer. I think there's like 60 breweries. That
There's
are
a
gonna be there,
lot.
The
so-
list is stacked.
Yeah.
The list is awesome.
I'm like, where are y'all all gonna fit in that space?
Yeah.
Be in the parking lot,
I-
taking up the entire
I
thing.
know.
Exactly.
I think so. Yeah, we didn't get to go last year.
Hanging out with the wakeboard boats there.
Yeah, we did a podcast with them last year, and then we hit the road and we weren't able to go to the
The first
festival.
one, but
So
we're
we're
going
really
this year.
excited to.
Yeah, it's crazy. I think Jester King's on the board. It's all over. I won't even say American
Yeah.
Solera was invited. It's just nuts.
Flyers right behind
I
you.
know.
there.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. And I'm not even sure that's the full list of
we
people.
did a podcast with Douglas.
Oh man, Dylan
Living
and Serene.
Rooms. There you
Yeah,
are.
Heater Allen. Know those people. Yeah, that's insane. North Park. Ooh, that'll be fun.
Freem, he used to work at Freem.
Oh yes, and now Brian's up at Structures. It is. It's just a Wiseacre. Yeah, that's in Chicago. Yeah, it's a great
We're
list.
staring at a poster. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah,
For
we'll
people who-
we'll post it up.
Well, that's very exciting. Are there any other festivals that y'all are attending this year?
Not totally sure yet in terms of the festivals. It kind of some of the other ones depend on what things surround it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's kind of adjacent to it.
Okay.
Do you want to contribute any more to the festival talk?
Yeah, like Finney Neighborhood
Yeah.
Association hosts their summer and winter beer festivals, and I don't think we've actually missed one of those in many since we opened, actually. But
Nice.
again, it just all depends on everything else that's going on. We are committed to the summer festival on July 12th,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and then the winter festival
November.
is usually like that second Saturday of
Okay,
November.
very cool.
Oh, nice.
We're hoping to be there. I expect us to be there,
Yep.
but
Yeah.
things can always change between now and then. So
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's exciting. I know that you all have already had a big 2025 celebrating 10 years and the beers that are coming out. So I love that so much. I'm excited to see y'all at the other festivals and
Yeah, it's just been such a blessing to sit and talk with y'all.
yeah,
with y'all.
yeah.
Thanks for making the time.
Yeah.
this has
course.
been great. Thank you.
Yeah,
No
thank y'all so
problem.
much. Cheers, friends.
Cheers.
Cheers.